And in today's edition of Grandstand, a rerun of the 1959 Challenge Cup final for some reason. Many more fatalities expected at the snooker will have live coverage. And I go to my first ever international soccer match. Here we are on a train to London, home of the iconic Wembley Stadium, which is not the venue for today's match. In order to get there, we have to catch a plane. This is the Stadion Narodowy in Warsaw, home to the Polish national team. It is a truly iconic venue and a perfect setting for a crucial game of international soccer. It's also a complete red herring because I didn't fly to Warsaw. I'm actually here in Vienna, where tonight Austria take on Romania in a vital World Cup qualifier. The Ernst Happel Stadium is sold out for this evening's game. It's also another red herring. This is not the game I'm going to. So where in blue blazes are we going? In order to answer that, I have to hop on a train. It's a 6-hour journey right across to the other side of the country. Alongside me on the train is a surprising number of men in kilts. That's because we're going to watch Scotland, one of world football's biggest underachievers, boasting such great luminaries of the game as Alex Ferguson, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness and Ryan Hardie. It's hard to believe that Scotland have never made it past the first round of a major competition. A country with a rich footballing history should certainly be higher than 44th in the world rankings, but an increasingly poor domestic scene and terrible recent international results have rendered Scottish football mediocre. After 6 hours on the train, we arrive in Feldkirch, where we catch a number 11 bus bound for Sargans in neighbouring Switzerland. This must be the only local bus route in the world that services 3 countries, because in between Austria and Switzerland is the tiny principality of Liechtenstein. This country is so small, it's a wonder that they managed to put a team together. Liechtenstein started competitive football in 1994 with a dismal 4-1 defeat to Northern Ireland. Results only got worse, and 2 years later, when Liechtenstein lost 11-1 at home to Macedonia, questions were asked regarding the sense of allowing such profoundly handicapped nations to compete against the likes of Spain, Italy and Germany. Liechtenstein are the only team to have lost to San Marino, a feat they've achieved on 3 occasions. They currently sit 205th in the FIFA World Rankings as of June 2025, below the likes of Guam and the Seychelles. The nation's capital is Vaduz, and by the time I arrive, it's already overrun with Scots. I can only wonder what the locals make of Runrig. The Rhine Park Stadium is a wonderful place to catch a game of football. It stands on the banks of the Rhine, with the Eastern Alps on one side and Switzerland on the other. And at 6 PM precisely, the teams emerge. You probably aren't familiar with most of Liechtenstein's players. Nicolas Hasler, number 18, should be the one to watch, on paper at least. He scored 7 goals for his national team. If the hosts score today, he'll probably have something to do with it. Most of the starting 11 play for FC Vaduz, Liechtenstein's only professional team. You'll be far more familiar with Scotland's lineup, particularly John McGinn, who had a run in the Champions League with Aston Villa, and Billy Gilmour, who won Serie A with Napoli. The only notable absence is Gilmour's teammate Scott McTominay. Now it's time for the anthems. Technically, as Scotland is part of the United Kingdom, we should be hearing God Save the King. But Scotland is a fiercely independent nation, unless you offer them independence when they decide they don't want it, go figure. So we're going to hear Flower of Scotland. To be fair, it is one of the most iconic national anthems in world football, up there with Brazil and Germany. And now the hosts. In the 19th century it was quite common for Germanic countries to copy the tune of the English national anthem. Most examples have since disappeared, either because they composed new anthems or because the country simply ceased to exist. Liechtenstein are the only exception. So now we are going to hear God Save the King, with different lyrics. As the game kicks off, it's apparent that the Scottish fans outnumber the locals significantly, and 3 minutes in, the game falls into a pattern, with Scotland passing the ball around the Liechtenstein penalty area while the Liechtenstein players sit back and limit the damage. And 4 minutes in, that plan falls to pieces. A corner comes in from the right, and the ball eventually falls to the wonderfully named Shay Zach Everton Fred Adams, who makes it 1-0. Already this looks like an incredibly one-sided affair. Liechtenstein are playing so defensively that when they do attack, the lack of forwards makes it impossible to keep the move going. The play breaks down and possession reverts to Scotland. Rinse and repeat. Scotland get closer and closer until inevitably Shay Adams scores again. With the sun in my eyes, I didn't catch it. But after 25 minutes it's 2-0 and it's looking as though Scotland could get a hatful.
26 Minuten Schottland unter 4:2 und Torhüter mit Nummer 10 Ellis.
And if this weren't taking place at the end of a long season, perhaps they would. But the Scotland players are visibly tired and wasteful. At half-time the game is already over. Liechtenstein have not managed one meaningful attack, and it looks as though they never will. The Scotland fans entertain themselves. For those who don't know, that's a reference to the 1986 World Cup, when Diego Maradona controversially punched the ball into the net, eliminating England in the quarter-finals. England fans don't sing about Scotland's failures at the World Cup, mainly because it's hard to find words that rhyme with Costa Rica, Morocco, Peru, and failed to qualify. The teams emerge for the second half, and Scotland score almost immediately. John McGinn's shot hits the post, all of the Liechtenstein defenders are asleep, and it's George Hurst who eventually prods it in. After that, the second half proceeds in the same vein as the first, with Scotland launching a series of wasteful attacks and Liechtenstein unable to do much more than clear their lines. A flurry of substitutions from both sides kills any possible momentum.
over, son! Go on, Miller! Go on, Miller! Point! Unlighted! One Miller!
With Liechtenstein continuing to offer nothing, it seems as though Scotland are happy to settle for 3-0. But in the dying moments, Shea Adams pounces on a cross from Nathan Patterson to complete his hat-trick. And with the score at 4-0, the referee blows for full time. You really have to watch Liechtenstein up close to realise just how bad they are.
Ja, mit dem Schlusspfiff quasi McJudas nochmal von 0:4 bei Torschütze mit Nummer 10 Chile.
The scenery around here makes up for it. Liechtenstein is one of the most expensive countries to stay in, so it's no surprise that the bus back to Austria is filled with Scots. Today's attendance was 4,086, and by my reckoning, about 86 of those were from Liechtenstein. And as the sun sets on this delightful little country, today's video ends. Thank you very much for watching.